Hi, Dean Jenkins with FollowMeTrades.com, and this is the market update for the week coming up of October 21st, 2019. I'm showing the chart of the S&P 500, and you can see last week we had a bit of a move up early in the week and then a bit of faltering and pull back. And if we step back and look at a bigger picture, we can see that the S&P 500, between these purple lines, is still stuck in a channel, and there's what I call tension right now in the overall markets, and that tension is between a pretty robust U.S. economy and the backdrop of just an incredible amount of political uncertainty. I've been trading the markets for over 25 years, and there's always something on the horizon. There's a fiscal cliff, a budget deal, a rate cut, something looming out there that the market's always worried about. But it just seems like the number of things that the market has to worry about right now are larger than normal. And let me pull up a screen here and just kind of show, what the big deals that I think the market's worried about. Just political uncertainty seems to be kind of peaking right now. We got the U.S. president facing, probable impeachment, at least in the House. Brexit is on the brink. They've got a looming deadline of October 31st. The last deal that the Prime Minister was able to cut was voted down by Parliament, and there's just tension there. The U.S. administration announced a China deal in principle, but I call that shaky at best, because it was agreed to in principle, but there's a little bit of unraveling around the edges. It hasn't been inked. It hasn't been papered. The president said hope to get it papered, within a few weeks, and maybe by the summit in Chile. And speaking of Chile, they're going to have a world leaders summit there, and Chile's embroiled in unrest. I don't know if they'll be able to have this summit safely. The global slowdown is real. Right, lots of indicators around the world of just overall economic activity slowing down, and let's not forget, Iran and North Korea, and just a lot going on. But on the other side of that, earnings, Q3 earnings for the S&P 500 starting off pretty strong, better than anticipated. And we're at the start. 15% of the S&P 500 is reported so far, and coming in kind of strong. Now, this coming week, we got a lot of companies reporting. It's really going to hit its stride. If you look at this calendar, Monday we got 68 companies reporting, Tuesday 121, Wednesday 191, Thursday 185, Friday 46 companies. So just a flurry of earnings coming in. It's really, again, starting to peak. And, let's see how these companies do. So meanwhile, like I said, the S&P 500 kind of stuck in this range and channeling until we really break to the upside or the downside. We really can't call a trend. I think the potential, I've said for the last few weeks, if it breaks to the upside, the follow through, could continue up into, all-time record highs. I think that will be somewhat weak given the overall backdrop. If it ends up breaking down below here, we may have a big move coming like we saw last year. But meanwhile, we're just stuck in this channel. I do like to pay attention to sector rotation and look, where the sector strength is, where the sector weakness is. I'm looking at the SPDR sector chart here for 1 month, and you can see the S&P 500. Down for a 30-day period, down just a little bit, 0.68. And what we like to do is look at the extremes. Given the S&P 500, well, energy is down in a huge way, almost 8%. And then what are the areas of strength? Healthcare, real estate, and utilities. And I'm particularly interested in the energy section. We're trading healthcare, we're trading real estate a little bit, utilities a little bit. But energy, given that big drop, it makes you wonder, if it's dropped that much, is there a bottom? Is there some opportunities for rebound? And let's take a look at that. And what I've done is pulled in the companies in this particular sector. Here's a list of 29 companies, and there's more, of course. But if I look at the ones that are showing some strength and maybe coming up, let's see, COG, is this a candidate? Well, it's gotten beaten down hugely, and then the higher low, maybe some new highs coming. So there's a potential opportunity. COG, which is Cabot. HES is another one. Let's look at this. HES, Hess Corporation. It doesn't look so good. HFC, Holly Frontier. This is one that is on our radar. Again, beaten down, a nice high, higher low, new highs, and breaking out. So maybe in the energy sector, after having gotten completely hammered, some opportunities. And again, looking here, healthcare looks a little bit strong. Real estate, the strongest of all, and maybe utilities. We got some trades going on there. So those are some ideas of some sectors to take a look at. So given this channeling nature of the S&P 500 right now, I think the opportunities are in individual stocks that are not correlated to the S&P 500. We got some good trades on that I'm pretty excited about, that are individual companies that are doing their own thing. They're in sectors that are showing strength. We're long there. Some sectors that are showing some continued weakness. We are short there, like technology. And then individual companies that just have a good story or a bad story, and they're breaking down. So there are trading opportunities. It's more difficult than usual. There is, again, a backdrop, a picture of just very, very unusual political uncertainty, and we just got to be super careful. Again, I think earnings are going to be the driver. We do have the FOMC decision coming up later this month, and that could be a real catalyst. That's later this month, 10:30. They'll announce what they're going to do with rates, and that could be a big deal. So we're a ways away from that. So meanwhile, we just got to trade safe, watch the indexes, only take the very best trades, use risk control, use good money management, and be patient. Well, that's my best view that we have right now, and I welcome your questions, your comments, and your feedback. All right, take care. Thanks. Bye.